G'day guys, welcome back to another NRL season review. Today we're going to be speaking about the season from hell that was the North Queensland Cowboys. Obviously, some very nice players involved in that side. Taumalolo, Michael Morgan's retirement, probably a huge thing to talk about later. Finishing in 15th, very disappointing for Cowboys fans. A lot was expected this year. And the signings for the off-season, they've been okay, but they're just not enough to get over the line. So, look, let's break down their season, their best win, worst loss, and the players that really stood out for the team that came 15th in 2021. Well, it was a horrible start to the season for the Cowboys, going down to the Penrith Panthers, the grand final runners-up of 2020, putting a statement out, beating the Cowboys 24-0 at home. The following week, the Cowboys played a lot better, but they could not get the job done against the St. George Illawarra Dragons, losing that game at home in front of the fans, 25-18. Now, the Gold Coast Titans, their club record is 44 points, and they put 44 points on the Cowboys, their Queensland rivals, in round 3. So, very bad defensive start, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I attended this game at Cogra Stadium, where the Sharks, I believe it was 30-0 at half-time. Crazy scoreline at full time. It was the Sharks winning 48-10. This is one of the lowlights for the Cowboys, especially just the defensive effort for that first half. They finally got a win on the board at Leichhardt. The Tigers should have won this game. It was Tommy Rodonigas's farewell game. But in the end, it was the Cowboys getting the victory, 34 points to 30. A very bad start to the season, but a much-needed win in round 5. We continue on, and they get a win against the Bulldogs by 12 points in round 6. And they go back-to-back with a win against the Raiders. Probably one of their best victories in round 7 against the Raiders. They came back from behind. The Raiders were the chokers of 2021, but this was a good game for Cowboys fans. In the rounds to come, some unforgettable games between the Warriors and the Cowboys as they faced each other twice in a period of 5 weeks. The first game I attended, there was a game day vlog featuring my nan from Central Coast Stadium. It was the Warriors getting the better of the Cowboys, 24 points to 20. It was half-time, 24 points to 4 in favour of the Warriors. They looked like they could have scored a lot of points, but the Cowboys, their defence and attack was on for that second half. And you know what? They got the vengeance in round 12 against the Warriors, winning that game 29-28. A fantastic comeback from the Cowboys. They were down 22. They were up 22-6 at half-time, but they conceded a lot of points, but got the job done in the end, the Chockies. The following week, in round 9 in their first game against the Warriors, a fantastic games with their Queensland rival, the Brisbane Broncos, where they won the game 19 points to 18. Valentine Holmes really stood up in this game, and Jason Taumalolo scoring a late try in it too. Throughout the season, Michael Morgan's retirement forced some very big changes to the Cowboys. Scott Drinkwater obviously being quite involved with the side for quite a while now. Tom Dearden is part of the Cowboys now from the Brisbane Broncos. Had a fantastic season for the most part. Very involved in some of these late games as well. Jake Clifford's departure, a bit of a shock for Cowboys fans, and their replacement for 2021, which I'll talk about later, in Chad Townsend. But their defence was horrible throughout this period, conceding 50 in round 14 to the Manly Seagulls. No chance of winning the comp there. They were very, very unlucky loss against the Sharks in round 15, 26-24. Kept scoreless by one of the best games in Kalen Ponga's career. I thought the Knights were outstanding in round 16. It's one of their best wins of the season when I speak about them. 46 were put on the Cowboys by the Roosters. Rabbits 34. Then they finally turned up in round 19 when no one expected them to. They lost the game, but they put in a fantastic fight against the Melbourne Storm, only losing it by 4 points. Well, we get into the back half of the season now for the Cowboys, and it was little too late for finals and not many wins left on the board. A disappointing loss to the Brisbane Broncos, their rivals, got revenge at home, 37-18, flogged by the Titans, 36-14. A loss to the Tigers and to the Eels. They were on, I believe, a 6-7 game losing streak. Hadn't won a game in a while, but round 24, they snapped the streak, 26-38. Now, I think this is one of their best wins of the season. They were down 20 points to 10 at halftime. The Dragons played horribly in the second half, but Hylam Lukey, Kyle Felt, and the Hammer just got together, put on a show at Rockhampton for the fans, and they end up winning the game 26 points to 38. Almost finishing their season in style before getting flogged by the Manly Seagulls 46-18. So, look, for Cowboys fans, it wasn't a great season. There was definitely some nice wins on the board. That streak, one of the worst losing streak in the club's history, was disappointing. But players that stood out were... Well, I think it comes down to three players. The first player, very consistent with the Cowboys. Normally he's up there with the top try scorers, but wasn't there to be this year with 12 tries in his 20 game. Kyle Felt, another great season. 137 tackles made, 15 line breaks, 74 tackle breaks, 12 tries, 2,000 running metres. Very consistent season from Kyle Felt, and we're just getting so used to it. I think Hammer had a great season as well. Obviously spent quite a bit of time on the sideline, which is very unfortunate. I think Hylam Lukey, who made his debut against the Knights later in the season, played 11 games, scored 3 tries, 92% tackle efficiency, rounding for 700 metres in the season. I think he's a player to watch out for next year. I think he's a player with a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. And someone who I think had a really good season, even though Jake Granville came off the bench and played in his role. I think Rhys Robson was outstanding for the Cowboys this year. He scored 6 tries in his 24 appearances. He had just a really good season. 9 offloads, 911 tackles made, 93% efficiency, and him himself running for well over 1,400 metres. So it was a great season from these 3 players, and they're probably my standout. Let me know in the comments, Cowboys fans, who you think was your best player. Well, let's move into next season for the Cowboys, where there's a few decent signings. Peter Hiku from the New Zealand Warriors, after a long career with them, heading over to join the Cowboys, probably playing in the centres for that one. Chad Townsend, probably the biggest signing on a 2-year deal. So Chad Townsend will be from the Sharks to the Cowboys after a little stint with the New Zealand Warriors until 2024. Here's your first look, which was actually released today, believe it or not, at the Cowboys here. Corey Jensen will be going to the Brisbane Broncos. Esan Masters, obviously previously released to the Gold Coast Titans. Michael Morgan forced to retire. Justin O'Neill retired from the side. And Shane Wright has been released with Francis Molo off to the Dragons. They've managed to re-sign Scott Drinkwater, Ben Condon, Ben Hampton, Murray Taulagi and the Hammer. So a few good signings for those young players. Hylam Lukey will be off contract at the end of the season, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets re-signed. He deserves it. But look, the Cowboys, they're in a rut for mine. They've had some really struggling seasons. Their recruitment has been okay, but it just hasn't been great. It hasn't been X factor. And look, this is a team that should be making the 8, but they're just not making it. It's been a while now. Thurston's been gone a long time. There's no excuses anymore for Cowboys fans. Anything less than a top 4 finish will be very disappointing in 2022. But this has been the Cowboys season review. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys on Sunday.